Hey everyone, this is Cryptomancer. Today I'm going to be going over the project called Hedera Hash Graph, or HBAR. In this quick introduction video, I will be going over what Hedera is, how it functions, what the HBAR token is. I will be looking over the project's history, its founders, some recent news and headlines, as well as going over the token value, its performance, and lastly, how the token can be acquired. Just a quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Any and all information presented here is for entertainment and education purposes only. Please do your own research. If this video is helpful to you in any way, please like and subscribe to this channel. I am committed to keeping you up to date with the crypto space. What is Hedera Hash Graph, or HBAR? Hedera Hash Graph is a cryptocurrency network seeking to serve as a platform on which anyone can transact and deploy applications, but where a group of businesses oversee the software. Toward this goal, Hedera makes notable design trade-offs, differentiating it from other platforms. For example, the network supports high transaction speeds for its HBAR cryptocurrency, but allows only approved nodes to participate in determining transaction history. By restricting the number of nodes involved in key functions like timestamping and transaction ordering, Hedera Hash Graph is able to achieve finality, reducing the likelihood changes to the state of transactions might later be made. The Hedera team argues this gives businesses a needed guarantee, as they can be confident when making decisions based on this data. As of 2020, there appears to be traction for the idea, as the model has succeeded in attracting dozens of big companies such as LG, IBM, and Boeing to act as nodes within the network. How does Hedera Hash Graph work? Hedera Hash Graph's most unique feature is its data structure for grouping transactions called a hash graph, which claims to process more transactions more cheaply than existing blockchains. The hash graph is a patented algorithm where all nodes are constantly communicating their information with each other, and was originally designed for private use. The Hedera hash graph is the first iteration of the algorithm that is used in a public network. Hash graph consensus service. To ensure all the computers in its distributed network agree on its transaction history, Hedera Hash Graph uses the hash graph consensus mechanism powered by two types of nodes. Consensus nodes determine transaction ordering and history, while mirror nodes relay this information to other stakeholders throughout the network. By using a limited number of nodes to determine its history, the Hedera model ensures that the transaction won't later be undone. This differs from how most traditional blockchains achieve consensus, in which the state of the blockchain is determined by users who propose blocks to be added to the chain in a market competition open to anyone. As a result, Hedera Hash Graph claims to offer features that combine the advantages of both public and private blockchain networks. Hedera governance. Hedera Hash Graph is governed by a body known as the Hedera Governing Council, which is charged with running the consensus nodes that determine transaction ordering. As of 2020, a total of 39 members sit on the council, including Google, IBM, and Boeing. The council's role is to manage the software, voting on changes, ensuring funds are allocated correctly, and safeguarding the network's legal status in various jurisdictions. Of note is that space on the council is limited. Each member can have up to 2 consecutive 3-year maximum terms. During this time, members have an equal vote on the network and platform decisions. Why does HBAR have value? The HBAR cryptocurrency is used to power the Hedera Hash Graph network, meaning users need to buy this asset to perform transactions and operate applications. Of note for investors is that the supply of HBAR tokens is fixed at 50 billion, the entire supply of which was created when the network launched in 2018. Over half of all HBAR tokens have been reserved for the Hedera team, and the remainder are expected to be released gradually to investors and users over the coming years. Additional HBAR tokens will be distributed through a process called proxy staking, in which any HBAR holder will be able to lock their cryptocurrency in special contracts, allocating those funds to one of the approved nodes on the network. By staking HBAR with another node, users would gain the ability to earn a slice of rewards and fees these computers receive from processing transactions on Hedera Hash Graph. Lastly, Hedera Hash Graph explained. Hedera is a public distributed ledger and governing body built from the ground up to support new and existing applications running at web scale. Developers use distributed ledger technologies to build computational trust directly into their applications. This allows individuals and businesses who might not know or trust each other to quickly and inexpensively collaborate. Public distributed ledgers allow for creating and exchanging value, proving identity, verifying and authenticating important data, and much more. Hedera is unique in that it achieves the same result as most ubiquitous public blockchains such as Bitcoin or Ethereum, but in a way that is faster, fairer, and more energy efficient, stable, and secure. These advantages can be attributed to the underlying Hashgraph consensus algorithm and the global enterprise governing body which owns and operates Hedera today. Let's unpack Hedera Hashgraph and take a look at each component individually. Hashgraph consensus, Hedera Network Services, Hedera Governing Council, third-party applications, and path to decentralization. The Hedera public network is built on the Hashgraph distributed consensus algorithm, invented by Dr. Lyman Baird, Hedera co-founder and chief scientist. The Hashgraph consensus algorithm provides near-perfect efficiency in bandwidth usage and consequently can process hundreds of thousands of transactions per second, throttled to 10,000 transactions per second in beta, in a single shard, a fully connected peer-to-peer mesh of nodes in a network. Unlike traditional proof-of-work blockchains which select a single miner to choose the next block, the community of nodes running Hashgraph come to an agreement on which transactions to add to the ledger as a collective. Through gossip about gossip and virtual voting, the Hashgraph network comes to consensus on both the validity and the consensus timestamp of every transaction. If the transaction is valid and within the appropriate time, the ledger state will be updated to include the transaction with 100% certainty. In blockchain consensus, rules require that blocks eventually settle in a single longest chain agreed upon by the community. If two blocks are created at the same time, the network nodes will eventually choose one chain to continue and discard the other one, lest the blockchain fork into two different chains. It is like a growing tree that is constantly having all but one of its branches chopped off. In Hashgraph, every container of transactions is incorporated into the ledger. None are discarded, so it is more efficient than blockchains. All the branches continue to exist forever and are woven together into a single whole. Furthermore, blockchain fails if the new containers arrive too quickly, because new branches sprout faster than they can be pruned. That is why blockchain needs proof of work or some other mechanism to artificially slow down the growth of. In Hashgraph, nothing is thrown away. The Hashgraph consensus algorithm has been validated as asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerant, ABFT, by a math proof checked by computer using the COQ system. This proves the claim stated in the Hashgraph tech report that Hashgraph is ABFT, mathematically the highest possible level of security for distributed systems. Fully decentralized governance. Hedera is governed by the Hedera Governing Council, an expert council consisting of 39 leading global enterprises and organizations, distributed across up to 11 different industries and spanning a wide range of geographies. The Governing Council makes key decisions over software upgrades, network pricing, treasury management, and more. Governing Council members are term limited and do not receive any profits from Hedera. The Hedera Governing Council is structured to best fulfill the desire for a decentralized, wise, stable governance in the long-term interests of the platform. All Governing Council members have all taken partial ownership of Hedera Hashgraph LLC by signing the agreement. This LLC agreement has been made available in its entirety at https://hedera.com/council. Minutes from every Governing Council meeting will be provided to the public no later than 30 days after they're accepted by a majority of the members. The first 14 Hedera Governing Council members include Boeing, Deutsche Telekom, DLA Piper, FIS WorldPay, Google, IBM, LG, Magalu, Nomura, Swirlds, Tata Communications, and the University College of London, and Wipro. Hedera won't be governed by unknown groups of miners and developers, and this enterprise-led structure greatly reduces the risk of ideology or personal disputes that have affected the governance of other public DLT platforms. In the spirit of fostering a strong community and developer-driven roadmap, developers can submit input and feedback through Hedera improvement proposals, which are reviewed by Hedera core engineering and product teams. Hedera's technology and governance make it scalable and well-suited to become the first public DLT platform to achieve mainstream adoption. Third-party applications. For the Hedera network to be secure, it must provide utility to the world. So how does having a useful ledger make you more secure? As the number of applications, assets, and transactions grows, it becomes an integral piece of digital infrastructure on which the world relies. Providing network utility ensures the network's protection by making it even more difficult and expensive to centralize ownership of the native cryptocurrency, preventing the consolidation of voting power for network transactions. Applications which fully utilize Hedera's network services is a critical aspect of Hedera's utility. Anyone from a single developer to a startup to an enterprise Fortune 500 company can build and run Hedera-powered applications on the mainnet. Hedera's path to decentralization. Hedera is a proof-of-stake public distributed ledger which aims to use a combination of path to permissionless network nodes and a path to widespread coin distribution, HBAR cryptocurrency. To keep the network secure while working to achieve full decentralization, let's focus on permissionless nodes and coin distribution and the role they play in securely achieving and maintaining decentralization. And now we will look at the Hedera Hash Graph website. This website contains information about the network, its developers, use cases, specifically about the HBAR, its governance, how it got started, and everything about it pretty much. So the organizations that Hedera works with, which are organizations on its governance council, are pretty big companies. They are Avery Dennison, Boeing, Dentons, Deutsche Telekom, T-Mobile, DLA Piper, EDF, FPOS, Google, IBM, FIS, LG, to name a few. The Hedera HBAR is based on this governance of council, which is in turn several companies that help to govern over the structure and software of the HBAR network. Join a future built on trust. Hedera is a trust layer of the internet, a decentralized public network for you to make your digital world exactly as it should be yours. Whether you're a startup or enterprise, a creator or a consumer, Hedera goes beyond blockchain for developers to create the next era of fast, fair, and secure applications. So Hedera runs on a third-generation public ledger, which has some advantages over the previous iterations of blockchain technology, specifically in its use case of Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can see that the differences in transactions per second, the average fee, and the amount of time that it takes to confirm a transaction. So let's see what it says about this. The third generation public ledger. Bitcoin pioneered decentralized infrastructure and Ethereum brought programmability. But earlier proof-of-work blockchains consume massive amounts of energy and process transactions slowly in order to achieve acceptable levels of security. Heavy bandwidth consumption by these technologies lead to expensive fees, even for a simple cryptocurrency transaction. The Hedera proof-of-stake public network powered by Hashgraph consensus achieves the highest grade of security possible, ABFT, with blazing fast transaction speeds and incredibly low bandwidth consumption. By combining high throughput, low fees, and finality in seconds, Hedera leads the way for the future of public ledgers. And now we're going to take a look at Hedera Hashgraph's dashboard. This is a pretty good resource to help you kind of keep track of what's going on with the Hedera Hashgraph. It gives you a good breakdown of some of the metrics of the network. So here you have the breakdown of trades per second by month, week, day, and hour. Here you have consensus finality and the total accounts. So you're going to get a good metric of how many average seconds of consensus it takes to process a transaction through the Hedera Hashgraph network, and the average time that it takes right now is about 5 seconds for an average transaction to be finalized on the Hedera Hashgraph network, which is pretty quick comparative to Ethereum or Bitcoin. And here you can kind of see the metrics of how many total accounts were created. I apologize for, here we go. So here we can see that a good portion of the accounts that have been created within the last year. but we're seeing kind of a steady climb. And about 152,000 accounts were created last month. Now we will look at some of Hedera Hashgraph's details on how it was founded and a little bit more of an overview on how the technology works. So Hedera Hashgraph is a DLT project and an innovation variation of the standard blockchain on the basis of the technology called Directed Acyclic Graph, DAG. Basically, operations are recorded not via the chain like in blockchain, but via a directed acyclic graph. A hash graph supports decentralized applications, and it is based on an asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance consensus, ABFT consensus. In this protocol, the network keeps honest consensus as long as less than a third of the nodes are malicious, which makes the system attack resistant and secure. It is the brainchild of Dr. Lyman Baird, who is the co-founder, CTO, and CSO, Chief Science Officer. Dr. Baird holds a PhD in computer science, holds various patents, and is an author of multiple academic journal publications. The other co-founder is Mance Harmon, who is currently the CEO, covering operations and management. Baird and Harmon have worked together at Trio Security and later at Blue Wave Security. Generally, the leadership team, currently around 10 employees, and advisors have strong experience in education. So here's some more information about Lyman Baird. Lyman Baird is the inventor of the hash graph distributed consensus algorithm and is the co-founder and CTO of Swirlds Incorporated. With over 20 years of technology and startup experience, he has held positions as a professor of computer science at the Air Force Academy and as a senior scientist in several labs. He has been the co-founder of several startups, including 2 identity-related startups, which were acquired. He received his PhD in computer science from Carnegie Mellon University and has multiple patents and publications in peer-reviewed journals and conferences in computer security, machine learning, and mathematics. Now let's look at the price of the Hedera Hashgraph HBAR token. The price at the time of this recording, which was in May 18th, 2021, the price of the Hedera Hashgraph was 0.31 cents. You can see Hedera is kind of performing at its pretty much its all-time high. Its previous all-time high was on April 12th for 40 cents. Okay, and now let's look at how to get the HBAR token. So the HBAR token is available via Binance, Gate.io, and Huobi are some of the exchanges that have this token. And here are some of the technologies that can be used to store the token. So Ledger, BitGo, Atomic Wallet, to name a few. And that was my video on the Hedera Hashgraph project and the HBAR token. Some key insights are that the HBAR token works through a hashgraph based technology similar to blockchain. Its advantages over blockchain are aimed at its scalability with fast transactions per second and security offered through its governance council. The project is founded on technological innovations by its creators, leveraging a unique solution for the crypto space. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to this channel where I help keep you up to date with the crypto space. And as always, have a good rest of your day.